Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Just Tell Me What Happens, BingeMedia.net spoiler-heavy review show where I, your host Jim Law, try to talk to my buddy here, Alex and Sierra,
Absolutely.
into watching or not watching a movie, or in this case, many movies. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. We're pretty ambitious this week. We went from
Yeah.
a movie, right?
Yeah.
A movie,
Yeah.
singular, and now we're going with the whole franchise. Everybody like and subscribe the Binge Media channel, patreon.com/binge media. $5 a month gets you all of our exclusive content going back to 2016, as well as commentaries and early access to videos like this.
This is the very definition of getting cocky. We do one show and we did a movie and we're like, yeah, fuck, let's do 5. Let's do 5 movies.
Let's fucking do it. Come on.
But
we're pros.
There's a reason for this because we have a new. So we're doing Final Destination. If you haven't noticed, there's a new Final Destination movie coming out on May 16th of this year. So when I asked Alex, I said, "Have you seen any of the Final Destination movies?" And he's like, "I seen the first one like one time when it first came out."
Right? Yeah.
I was like, "This is perfect. This is perfect because Final Destination is a big franchise in this house, and the kids all love it, and I've seen them quite a few times, some more than others. But I need to know from you, like after you saw the first one, did you see it when it first came out?
That was a theater watch.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were like, this looks good. I'm gonna go to the theater watch this. And then the next 4 of them, you're like, no. What happened?
There's something about sequels and franchises that have multiple like that have multiple movies in the franchise. A lot of times it'll just be you'll just have a direct sequel and that's it. But like I just had a feeling that it was just going to keep on going on, and that's not really my style. And also I love horror movies, but it's never my go-to genre.
Right.
But at the time I was dating somebody that was really into horror, so I was like, let's go see it. Also, great trailer. Fantastic. Like, love that trailer. You watch it nowadays, and that is definitely like it's of the time, right? Like how it's cut, the music, like everything. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but I kind of felt like, all right, I got it, and like horror movies are some of the most fun films to see in a theater. You get the whole crowd involved and everything, at least during that time. I don't know how it is now, but yeah, I enjoyed it, but it really was like, okay, I got it. I don't need to see another one. I'll wait 25 years and have my good buddy Jim Law just tell me what happens with the fucking rest of them.
I don't even know how many I've seen in the theater, or if I've even seen any of these in the theater. I honestly don't know. These are like the beginning. This is like fucking prime home video time, right? Final Destination, like the first one.
Yeah.
Like I feel like these were all like rentals at some point in my life. And then when the kids got old enough, it was just like, streaming all 5 of them in a row. But I know I had seen them all. I don't know. It was a premise that I didn't hear much about the movie going in. I don't remember the trailer. Did you did you watch all the trailers before we did this?
I didn't. No.
Oh,
no. I wanted to go in fresh, even when I was cutting all the video company the video that we're going to be playing.
Yeah, you didn't watch it?
No. I saw the kills and I'm like, damn, these are some good.
How do you blind
great
edit?
kills?
You just blind edit like this? You just like, all right, cut. No.
I do it for a living, Law, so I can totally do that. Like same way you build minivans. Head down. I can do whatever. Yeah.
So
2 different things.
I don't remember the trailer. I don't remember the hype about this movie really, but I remember after seeing it, I am a big horror guy, and I was just like, what a refreshing premise that was. You know what I mean? It's not a guy, and not that I'm shitting on serial movies like Freddy or Jason or
has its place, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But it was just for death to be the bad guy. It was just a great and not a physical death. Like it's not like and it's not a fucking Grim Reaper chasing the kids around all day. It's just death's design basically. And I loved the first movie so much.
Yeah.
and it's, you know, it's something we'll get into a little later when I go through every movie. It's something they stuck to and tried to expand on throughout the series. Um, so I don't know, man. If you're ready,
I'm ready.
Final Destination.
All right, let's do it.
Final Destination was released on March 17th, 2000. It's 98 minutes long. 98 minutes.
Love that.
It has an IMDb score of 6.7 and a Rotten Tomato score of only 37% rotten.
Wow. Okay.
A budget of 25 million and a box office worldwide of 112 million. So you can see right there why there was a Final Destination 2.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And do you know what the audience meter was?
No, I don't. I do know it was higher, but I didn't write that down. Maybe
Gotcha.
Techno Pete is also with us, ladies and gentlemen. He's in the background, or just Pete if he wants. 68 was the popcorn meter for Final Destination.
Still not super high. Like,
No.
I expected that to be a little higher, right?
Yeah, that's something I thought. I bet you it got higher over the years too. I think this might be a little bit more appreciated, especially after the next 4 movies that we'll get to. This one, you know, I believe this has the best cast of all of them. It's easy to say that because they've had a chance to go on and do a lot more things than maybe some of the other movies have because they're newer. But Devon Sawa's in it, Ali Larder, Sean William Scott, and of course Tony Todd showed up to give this that horror kind of cred. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you get
for sure.
Candyman in there, and then people are gonna draw themselves to it. So the premonition death in this movie is a plane explode. It's not a plane crash. The plane explodes basically when it takes off. Now, when I say premonition death, every movie has a premonition death, and that sets off the entire movie. So this usually happens within the first 10 minutes. Devon Sawa as Alyx sees him and his friends get on this plane, and as it takes off, I think an engine explodes. Anyway, the whole side of the plane comes off, people are flying out, everyone burns to death, the whole plane explodes. He wakes up from his vision, decides to get off with his girlfriend, ends up getting in a fight with a couple other people. One of the teachers gets off with them. They all survive as they watch and turn as they're arguing in the airport. You can see the plane actually explode as in his premonition right outside the window. Okay. That's the whole concept for the series, not just the movie. They do run into Mr. Bloodworth. That's Tony Todd. Tony Todd he's a corner. He seems to have a lot of information for them. He's that guy. There he is. And he is going to tell them that death has a design and you cheated that design. And he's mightily pissed off about it. So throughout the movie, these survivors, they end up getting killed one by one. And the specialty of these movies is in those deaths and how they happen. Because any normal day situation that they're in, the way this series is filmed is like anything could be their demise, right? If they're in a if say someone's walking through a kitchen, the camera will fucking hold a bit on that fucking butcher block, right, of knives. Hold a bit, like maybe that's what's gonna do her. And that shit goes on throughout the whole series.
And they play with that, right?
They play with it a lot.
Over the course of the movies.
Yeah. There ends up being, so everyone dies off. There ends up being 3 survivors at the end of the film. In the film, Ali Larder, Devon Sawa, and his best friend. I can't remember his name. I didn't write him down because I don't remember him. But not his best friend, the guy he got in a fight with. He ends up dying in the very last scene of the movie. There was an order to their deaths in the place that they were sitting on the plane. So that's how death was going to deal it. To beat death's design, they had to get out of that order again. That was the whole premise of the first movie. They had thought they'd done it, whatever. Okay. So that's Final Destination 1. That's it. That's all I'm going to tell you about that. You've seen that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to Final Destination 2 right now. This is where you tap the fuck out. You were like a hard tap out here.
I was like, I got it.
All right. Final Destination 2 starts off, January 31st, 2003, 90 minutes. Even shorter than the first movie.
They're like, we needed to trim some fat.
Yeah. IMDb 6.2, so a little bit less. But Rotten Tomatoes, 52%.
Okay.
Still rotten, but still 52 compared to 37 of the first movie. And what's a popcorn meter for that, Techno? 58. 58. So actually less than the first one. Anyways, this has the most famous premonition death of the series. It is the one that most people reference. This scene alone probably gets Final Destination the most references worldwide all the time. It's almost like a common fucking household thing. This is the highway accident.
This is the highway accident. Yeah. Which I thought was in the first one until I started cutting all these things together. Like that's how significant that death was pop culture wise. Right. Like even my wife, who probably, I don't know if she's actually seen it. Anytime we're on the highway, even today, will be like, oh, this is give me Final Destination vibes.
Right. Anytime you see one of those logging trucks,
yep,
you're like, nope. Everyone says the same thing. Nope. Why? Fucking Final Destination.
Final Destination.
And that's the thing. They'll just say Final Destination. They won't say Final Destination 2. They'll just say, oh, because Final Destination. And that's why a lot of people probably do think it's the first movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't write anyone's name down for this because I didn't do any of the players, but the main character, she is going on spring break to Daytona with her friends. She's got a carload, 2 guys in the back, 2 girls in the front. Just as she gets onto the highway, and like I said, a whole bunch of shit happens. The cop pulls by, spills a coffee, a whole bunch of things happen. The chain breaks holding the logs on this big rig. Total devastation for everybody around. There's really grotesque deaths in this scene. People getting crushed by logs, giant poles going through people, being crushed by cars, burning to death, sitting in a car. It was pretty graphic, a lot more graphic than the first one, in my opinion.
And this is 2003. So in the horror zeitgeist around this time, did they start getting more graphic deaths?
Yeah. So look, you can see that one right there.
Yeah.
He's
I just mean across the board for the genre.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Just because of the technology advance, right? Like as technology gets better and better, the more realistic you can show a death. So I guess stuff was kicking for this movie because it looks pretty good.
Yeah, gotcha.
That what did they call that? Trisection. That dude gets fucking cut in 3 by barbed wire. That was pretty good. And one of the other notable deaths was
dude, maybe I did see this.
Hold on, one of the other you might know from this. There is a elevator scene where this girl gets her hair caught and this guy's carrying a box of fucking arms with hooks. And she gets her hair caught on it, and of course, eventually the elevator starts going up, gets stuck, whatever. She tries to get out, she gets her head cut off by the elevator. To this point, what they're doing is they're playing on fears, right? Like a lot of people. First movie, a lot of people don't want to fly. This is a huge fear for tons and tons of people. So let's play off that. This one, not so much. I mean, it's just a highway accident, but they did it with the other deaths, right? Like the elevator shit.
The elevator for sure. Yeah.
I think there's a dentist scene in this one. A lot of people hate going to the dentist and all like that. So Claire is still alive. Ally Larder, she shows up in part 2, and the main character ends up seeking her out because of the story of the first movie and what happened with Alyx and his friends. Now, this does have one of the worst moments in the series because you find out that Alyx is dead from the first film.
Okay.
And how he died is why I consider it one of the stupidest things of all time. A brick fell on his head.
Yeah.
That's how he died.
That was it.
That's it. We're sitting here talking about how they're raising the ante for all these deaths. The main character of the franchise died by a brick falling on his head off of a construction site or something like that. I did not enjoy that at all. Claire ends up finding Mr. Bloodworth again. Tony Todd shows up again, and he's got a new rule. It's part 2, right? You got to mix in some new rules.
Absolutely.
So he says the only way you can beat death this time, Claire, spelled by the way Clear, Claire.
Clear.
Yeah, Claire.
Come on.
Is new life. New life can stop death from killing all of you. So in their little group, there's a pregnant woman that was on the highway that day. She's pregnant. So they think, okay, all we have to do is let this woman give birth, keep her alive until she gives birth. We're all going to be all set. All right. So the deaths in this movie have a little, and also another little thing that they add on, where she sees little premonitions throughout the movie, not full blown ones like the highway accident, but little hints as to what is going to kill the next person. One scene, she's looking in a glass pane window, and she says she sees a bunch of pigeons fly by.
Yeah.
And she just immediately goes, "Oh my God, whatever his name is, Todd's next. He's going to get killed by pigeons." And everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, no one else sees the pigeons. Right?
Yeah.
So she's only seen. So she saw a hook when the girl got killed by getting her hair cut. And that. So she's got these little mini premonitions all throughout the movie. Anyways, they get the woman to the hospital. She gives birth, but through a flashback premonition, man, this is getting confusing. I know. Flashback premonition. She realizes that the woman that just gave birth, the woman that's been with them, she didn't die in the highway accident. So she wasn't part of death design. So her giving birth to a baby doesn't matter.
Didn't do shit. Yeah.
That's right.
Gotcha.
In this scene in the hospital, right after that, Claire fucking bites it. She gets blown up in a hospital room because there's a gas leak. Someone walks in, flicks a lighter, dead. Everyone from the first movie is now dead, Alyx.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Okay.
So the main character now, she realizes, I know what I got to do. She fucking knows what she has to do to beat death. She decides she's going to fucking kill herself.
Damn. I thought she was going to get pregnant.
No.
Why kill yourself?
She can't wait. That's 9 months of fucking avoiding death, Alyx. That's stressful shit. I'd rather kill myself too.
Death, like, he's got to know though, right? He's got to know, like, all right, there's somebody in there. And
what
maybe
but he does. If it's not born, see, now this is going to get to a whole abortion thing. Is that thing alive yet or not? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. By the way, if my wife got pregnant right now, I'd rather kill myself than wait 9 months.
If your wife got pregnant, I'd probably kill myself. That's true.
She kills herself. She fucking takes his van. She just drives into a river and fucking drowns. She drowns.
Okay.
But she gets saved. She gets pulled out, resuscitated. She was officially dead, mind you, for however 7 minutes or something like that. Comes back to life, survives the movie. They beat death. Damn. Only 2 of them survive, her and the cop boyfriend-ish, I guess. By the end of the film, they have a relationship.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's to note here, I want to come back to this a little later. Remember that. Okay. These 2 survived this movie, okay?
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's your pal Alyx, and I want to tell you about our friends over at ParkSense.com. Go there and use the code BINGE20 at checkout for 20% off your entire order. If you like the Disney or Universal parks and want to bring some of the sensory magic back home, go to ParkSense.com and pick out your favorite candle, room spray, or wax melt. The best thing about ParkSense.com is the variety of scents that bring you right back to the park. The extraterrestrial adventure candle will remind you of Universal's E.T. ride, and the Wizard Beer's butterscotch scent will transport you to the Hogwarts Express right from your living room. So go to ParkSense.com, stock up on some fantastic smells, and use the code BINGE20 at checkout for 20% off your order. Thank you to ParkSense.com, and now back to the show.
Final Destination 3, February 10th, 2006, 93 minutes. They're pretty consistent with their times.
Yeah, they know what they're going for sure.
IMDb is a 5.8, Rotten Tomatoes 44, and the audience score was a 53. So 44%. I don't know where we're at here, Pete. It's too much stuff. Oh, you're just putting them all up. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Final Destination was 57% audience score for Final Destination 3. Budget. Sorry, I didn't do the budgets for the first one, but the budget was 25 million. Box office was 112 million. The box office for part 2 was 90 million. All right. So the premonition death here is, I'll be honest with you, I think it's a little underrated. It's the roller coaster. So we're getting back to it, right?
Yeah. More fear-based stuff. Yeah, gotcha.
But now we got the roller coaster. Tons of people I know do not like riding roller coasters.
Sure. So especially those old wooden ones, for sure.
That's right. So all the passengers of the Devil's Flight roller coaster accident perish in Mary Elizabeth Winstead's premonition. Oh, she's very, very, very good in this movie.
Oh yeah.
This is my son Ethan's favorite Final Destination movie. TJ's
really? Okay.
TJ's was the first movie.
Okay, he goes old school. I love it.
That's right. Couple things about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
No, Mr. Bloodworth. Tony Todd is not in this film. They do not.
You reference
bring
him?
him.
I
They
don't.
don't
They
reference
don't.
him.
Wow. Okay.
Nothing. They do reference the first film. That is an ongoing thing throughout. They talk about Alyx and his friends in Flight 108. So
in what way are they just like, oh, one of us is dead? Could it be the same thing that happened to that Alex kid all those years
that's exactly
ago?
what it is.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
exactly, yeah. Everyone's like, oh, this one kid said he had a premonition and got off the plane, and then they all ended up dying. So
I love when they get self-referential in these. It's just so silly. Hey, this reminds me of Final Destination 1. I was like, what? All right. Let's just really break down that fourth wall.
So we don't have Mr. Bloodworth to explain Death's premise here, or Death's design, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they add a little something here in this movie where Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I'm going to call her Mary from now on. It's a really long name. Mm-hmm. She's got a camera at this carnival or whatever they're at. And she's taking a lot of pictures before they get on the roller coaster. And after the roller coaster, so when she gets off, when she sees a premonition, there's brake fluid is leaking. Obviously, like some cars come off the track. People are thrown. They fall to their death by it getting stuck in a loop upside down. Everything goes crazy. She demands to get off the ride. Her friend's boyfriend sitting next to her. He gets off with her. A couple other guys get into a fight. Whatever. There's like 6 or 7 people that she ends up saving. Right. Mm-hmm. And as with all the movies, I believe, just for a bit, she's kind of a pariah, right? They kind of are scared of her. Like, they're like, the fuck, man? Like, how did you know that? Like, how did you know to get off? And like, you know what I mean? Like, she's kind of an outcast and no one really wants to talk to her and all this kind of shit.
Okay.
But she had that camera, and
right.
her sister, who was also on the ride, ended up getting off or whatever, wants to borrow her camera. She's like, oh, let me charge it. So she plugs it in. She notices all these pictures from that night. It was, a horrible night in her life. Her boyfriend died and all this shit. But she starts seeing these little things in the pictures. Every picture she took of someone that survived has something going on in the picture that is a clue onto how they're going to die. So
the order.
Well, the order was, I think,
or just how.
Sitting.
More just how.
How, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Much like this is a way better way to treat the mini premonitions from part 2, where she would just see pigeons fly by.
Yeah.
The pictures are really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you just looking at it, you kind of don't know what it's going to be, but then when the death happens, you're like, oh, okay. This has my favorite death so far in the 3. There's a horrific tanning bed accident. Mm-hmm. This is a really intricate scene where everything that can go wrong, one of those scenes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does. A screw falls here, a door accidentally closes there. Piece of wood falls into the tanning beds, locks them in. Her drink that she wasn't supposed to bring in drips condensation onto the fucking
we're seeing
under
the
heater.
Yeah.
And it turns the fucking heat up in the tanning bed to a level in which I'm pretty sure they don't go to. You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally set a blaze while laying in these tanning beds, and it's horrible to watch. Like, it's fucking, it looks so painful. Yeah. They're trying to get their skin off the fucking bottom, and yet the top is fucking skull. Oh my god! Dude.
Is the skin like hanging off of it and everything?
Yeah, it's peeling away from them.
That's awesome.
And they're fucking both fully nude. It's so fucking crazy, this scene. I loved it so much. Another thing that they add here, so they go through the order of how they're sitting, and and they're trying to figure out who's next and who's next. They add in one of the characters that survives. He's kind of like this goth fucking dude that survived with his girlfriend right there with the nails. That's how she died. Mm-hmm. And he's upset about that for the rest of the movie, and he kind of blames her, and he becomes
blames Mary.
Yeah, he becomes kind of an antagonist in the film. Like, he becomes a bad guy because he thinks he can't die now because somehow he avoided the order. So he just wants Mary to die because he just blames it on her. I don't know why he blames it on her. He's just an angry fuck. But there is actual a physical bad guy by the end of this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's trying to kill Mary.
Okay. And how do they figure out that there's an order?
It's how they're seated on the roller coaster.
Okay. So they just put 2 and 2 together, like, oh shit, you're seated on this order, the roller coaster in this order, and now they're getting picked off in this order. Okay.
But they don't like. There's not necessarily like she doesn't necessarily remember. I remember exactly where everyone was sitting. That's the whole thing in the movie too. She's like, who the fuck was sitting next to him? Like we have to figure that out. Like that's part of the mystery, right?
Gotcha.
So, and in the end, we get Mary and her sister end up surviving. Her sister saves Mary, and then which was her friend's boyfriend. He's also a survivor. He ends up saving Mary. So they all kind of save each other, and they take them off the list. But for a first time in the series, not the last time, but the first time, the final scene, Mary gets another premonition on this subway when she finds out that all 3 of them end up in the same subway car just by chance. She starts getting freaked out. She's like, why are you on this train? What are you doing on this train? And then it starts kicking in. She sees another premonition of the subway train gets derailed by a fucking rat eating a candy bar on
Oh, that's good shit.
Just like kind of like Avengers Endgame. The rat was the savior of all mankind. This rat fucking is eating a chocolate bar, ends up fucking getting shocked and then changing a track. Whole subway crashes. She wakes up, but they can't get off the subway because it's already started going. Everyone dies.
Wow, that's kind of like the Maitlands. That's how they died in Beetlejuice.
Oh,
remember that dog? It was just like sitting on that board, that plank.
Yeah.
Once it gets off, they fucking go down. That could have been Final Destination. That could have been like pre-Final Destination.
Tim Burton's Final Destination.
Yeah.
So that's part 3. All right, let's go to the Final Destination. You know, it's always fun Googling Final Destination and the Final Destination because you know Google knows exactly what you're talking about. It's a lot of good time. August 8th, 2009. 82 minutes, the shortest by far so far. IMDb a 5.1, Rotten Tomatoes 28% fresh, and 35% fresh for popcorn.
Damn.
This is I think this is the least popular Final Destination movie. And it might be for a couple reasons. First of all, this one was like filmed for 3D, right? This was this whole era.
Gotcha.
So I mean, look, it's a franchise set up for that, right? All these fucking elaborate death scenes with fucking like bars going through fucking heads and shit like that. You know, eventually it was gonna cross paths with 3D. The premonition death in this one is over 60 people die in a raceway accident. Now, this is another step down for me in premonitions. Not that the highway accident was a step down, but as far as fears go, I don't think a lot of people are scared to go watch a NASCAR race or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that it's an actual fear that they're gonna like something's gonna happen to them at a race. You know what I'm saying? Is that something you fear?
I don't know. I've watched enough videos where a random tire just goes into the fucking audience, into the crowd, and that
definitely happens in this movie.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Maybe I saw this one too. I don't know.
So yeah, the cars crash, shit flies into the audience. You know, grotesque deaths again, 3D grotesque deaths, by the way.
Yeah.
And then I think eventually the whole section that they were sitting on fucking collapses. Dude wakes up. Decides to exit the fucking thing, ends up fucking bumping into some guys, you know, some fucking redneck fucking NASCAR guys or whatever the fuck. They all get in a fight, they all get kicked out, whatever. He ends up saving a whole bunch of people. Now, no Bloodworth in this movie too. Like he didn't show up in this movie too. I don't know what happened with him in Final Destination for the final 2 movies or these last 2 movies, but he does not show up in this one.
That sucks.
There's another. Okay, so again, same thing, right? This is one I remember the least, and also to rewatch it, it was not available to me. So I tried my best to, you know, just kind of give you an overlay of what goes on here. Yeah. There's a second. This is a funny thing. I think the second premonition in this movie, they do this again with the second premonition at the end. I think it's actually better than the first premonition. So I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
It's a movie theater. There's a giant explosion in the movie theater, like the entire screen explodes. kills everybody in the audience. When he's running away with his girlfriend or whatever, they go on an escalator. Now, if you've ever seen Mallrats, there is a problem with escalators. A lot of people don't like.
Well, the kid is back on the escalator.
He's fucking on the escalator again. This is a great scene. I fucking love this escalator scene. I remember it specifically being the trailer, and I thought this was going to be the main premonition, right? Like I didn't know it was going to be this race car race, but so they get on the escalator. And it starts fucking malfunctioning and shit from the explosion from the movie theater, and all the innards of the escalator are shown, and all these motors are turning, and fucking he drops his fucking girlfriend in the motors, and she gets fucking grinded, all meat grinded and shit. Fucking great scene. Absolutely love this.
Hell yeah.
Everyone dies in this movie too, because at the very end of the film, they end up in this cafe, and he realizes that death was fucking with them. The design was the second premonition was also almost a fake setup to get them all in the same place at this one moment. And as soon as he realizes this, a fucking truck smashes through the cafe and just fucking obliterates all three.
That'll happen.
So death fucking tricked them. He had a thing.
He's a little stinker, isn't he?
He's sneaky. Death.
Oh, he's a little stinker.
All right, Final Destination 5.
Yeah,
5. You know, we had this thing where you were going to guess. I forgot. I want you to guess.
All right, we'll do that. We'll do it at the end.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or do you want me to guess this one?
I want you to guess this one.
Okay.
You were going to guess the premonitions. Totally fucking forgot about it.
That's all right. You were on a roll. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So the premonition that I had for death that I had for 5.
You're like digging deep into your own fears here, right? Is this what this is?
Some of them, not necessarily this. Well, there's a little bit of this one for sure. A little bit of fear in here. So a character has a premonition of somebody binging an all-you-can-eat buffet, and this character stumbles out of the restaurant, like just like what's his face in Stand By Me, you know?
Oh yeah.
Where you know, the pie eating contest, where he's like big guy, just like. So you get the feeling that, you know, he might blow up or something like that. Right. But what happens, he stumbles out of a restaurant and he's robbed and killed by a climate change protester.
What the
A little bit of a fear in there.
Yeah.
Personally, for me.
Well, you're close.
Well, I'm glad you laughed at it, but I'm still shaking in my boots here.
You're very close.
Thanks.
August 12th, 2011. 92 minutes. IMDb 5.9, Rotten Tomatoes 63%, which is pretty high. And the audience score was 53%.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's rare for this kind of movie to have a higher critic rating than an audience rating.
Absolutely.
Premonition death here is about 90 or so people die when a gigantic bridge collapses. Again, now this is a good fear.
Yep.
I have a recurring dream. I don't know. I've never really talked about this. I talked to Jess, my wife, about it, but no one else. I have this recurring dream where I'm driving up a really steep bridge. It's like ridiculously steep, to a point where I don't think the car is going to go forward anymore. And I don't know. It just ends like as I'm getting towards the top, and it's really like I'm fucking petrified in this dream. I've had it like dozens of times. But I go over bridges all the time. I live in a border city. Like the Ambassador Bridge from Windsor to Detroit is
right there.
I go over it all the time.
Yeah,
well, not now. But so this one kind of hit home with me though, because of that dream I have. They're going on a work retreat. David Koechner is in there. That just always is great. And he sees obviously, so he sees the bridge. They're doing construction on the bridge, which they're always doing on the Ambassador Bridge, by the way. Fucking drives me nuts. But structural damage starts to happen here and there, and then fucking large sections of the bridge fall out. The fucking giant fucking steel coils holding it up snap off and start swinging around, fucking taking people out left and right. People are getting obliterated. Koechner actually has the best death in the premonition. He goes to he's hanging off the side of the concrete, and as he's trying to pull himself up, one of these giant fucking tar containers rolls over and fucking sprays the fucking steaming hot tar all over him.
Oh,
and
really?
literally just melts all his skin off his body.
That's gnarly. Hell
It
yeah.
was fucking badass. And that's not it, man. That's not so he ends up, saving the whole work retreat. They all end up getting off the bus and they run to the end, and a really great visual scene when they run to the end. They kind of show the camera from behind them and you could see the entire bridge collapse in the distance. Fucking great scene. Absolutely loved it. So not only did the Keckner thing I loved, this has two of probably my favorite death scenes in the entire franchise. One of them is a gymnastics scene, Moreno, that is, I just watched it again today, and it is one of the hardest things to watch, like maybe of all time.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's one of the hardest laughs I've ever had.
No,
I thought that's what you were going to say.
No. There's no laughing in this scene for me at all. It is very fucking, it just torments me, man. She's just practicing her routine. She's a gymnast. One of the survivors is a gymnast, and she's practicing her routine, and her boyfriend's there watching her, and he's very excited to watch her. And she's on
That's
a balance
right there, right?
Yep, she's on a balance beam, and a whole bunch of shit's happening in the ceiling. Death's design is fucking around with pipes and shit in the ceiling, and what happens is one tiny screw comes loose. And it falls all the way down. Now, this is a big gymnasium, right? It's fucking 200 feet in the air. This tiny screw falls down and lands upright on the balance beam. And it's just sitting there during her whole routine, waiting to be fucking stepped on. It's sweat inducing watching her do her fucking routine around this screw. Because you're like, when's she going to land on it? What the fuck's going to happen when
Definitely
she lands
one of
on
those
it?
moments where you're yelling at the screen.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So she ends up getting through the routine without stepping on it, but it's still there. And she's like, okay, let's do the uneven bars. So she goes over to the uneven bars and starts fucking swinging around like a monkey. But another girl gets on the balance beam and starts doing her routine while she's doing this. And she's fucking, oh, fuck me. She's doing her thing. She ends up stepping on the screw, fucking screaming, falling off, hitting, the chalk that they use, just whatever chalk up their grip. Hits a pail of chalk. It goes into a fan that's just cooling the gym around. The fan blows all the chalk into fucking, I think her name's Michelle, who's on the fucking uneven bars. Mid fucking demount. She can't see what's happening. Fucking lands on her fucking face, and her legs bend over her back, and her fucking whole body rips in half. Oh my God, it's so fucking brutal. It's so brutal. There's no cuts from the camera. You watch the entire thing happen. Oh my God, it's brutal, man.
It is very similar to what I thought the premonition death was gonna be in 4. In 4, I wrote down that the death was gonna be at a track meet, and a pole vaulter is impaled, sliding down the pole.
Oh my God.
Through various orifices.
That is very close. You're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can write these.
Like right up his butthole, like he lands on his butthole on it, and it just goes straight.
Or they, yeah, it could be he or she. I didn't really think about gender at that time, as I often don't. And yeah, I just saw like somebody just fire pole, like just slowly sliding down, very slowly in an orbit all the way
down.
The
pole's just it's staying straight up, and he's just sliding down it.
It's just straight up. It's standing straight up, cartoon style. And as that person's slowly orbiting, sliding down, it's just the streak of blood gets more and more thicker. It gets thicker the further it goes down.
All right, that's good.
I'm not giving myself half credit on that one because I got the sport. You know what I mean? Like I got
That's your first point of the show ever. That's your first point.
It really is.
And then the other death that I really like in this one is this really, I can't remember her name, but her really hot chick that gets off the bus. She is always fumbling with her glasses. She's like the Velma of the group. She fucking drops her glasses when they're trying to get off the bridge, and she can't fucking see, and she's running into shit. So she goes for an eye surgery. She's gonna get LASIK or whatever the fuck it is to fix her eyes. Oh my God, dude! Again, I'm pretty sure the laser for LASIK, it's not supposed to go to like 500%, but it does in this. It literally becomes a lightsaber at some point in this movie. All this shit happens. She gets strapped down. Fucking the laser's fucking, you know, it's moving closer to it. Ends up fucking burning her whole eye out. It just fucking obliterates it.
Ugh.
She gets off, fucking ends up falling out a window onto a fucking car, fucking 4 flights down. Oh, it's just 2 fucking fantastic scenes in one movie. Like, I absolutely loved both of these scenes.
Yeah.
There's even another one where this guy he goes to get acupuncture. Again, see, these, maybe not so much the gymnastics, but the eye surgery and the acupuncture. This again, playing on those fucking fears. They're doing it right in this movie.
Yeah.
He a whole bunch of shit happens in the acupuncture thing. Fucking fire starts. A whole bunch of shit. It ends up a giant Buddha statue fucking falls on his head and explodes his whole head. Fucking great stuff. This might have the collection of the best deaths in the entire series. Is part 5. All right, so
how's the story weaving all this together? Is it
yeah, I mean, it's very similar.
Lacking?
This is the return of Bloodworth.
Yeah,
Tony Todd comes back in this movie. Everything around this, like this, it's very straightforward. This movie, as to who dies when or whatever. It's an order of where they were, or actually, it's not where they were sitting on the bus, because they all actually get off in the premonition. He's trying to remember the order of which they died once they got off of it, but that doesn't. It's almost a second thought by the end, because the boyfriend of Michelle, the gymnast, he again, they pull this thing. He becomes a bad guy in the film and wants to kill the main characters because he's upset that his wife died and that she shouldn't have died. They should have died. So there's another physical antagonist in this.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. So they end up killing him, which actually ends up doing it out of order and saving them. And we get the final scene, which I don't really know if there's a better wraparound scene in a film, especially a horror film, that can wrap a series up together as well as they pull off in this movie.
Okay.
He decides he's gonna go. He's a chef, and he had gotten an invite to a culinary school, and he decides to take that trip at the end. Him and his surviving girlfriend, the last 2 survivors. He's like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go start our new life. We survived all these deaths, and let's go and go to this culinary school and take my shot at being a chef. And she's like, let's do it. So they get on the plane, and all of a sudden there's a ruckus in the back of the plane.
No.
And it's all the characters from the first movie getting thrown off Flight 180.
Oh, really?
And they end up staying on the plane and dying. So everybody fucking dies in this movie. And it was a prequel to the first film.
Oh, shit. That's why
fucking dope as shit, dude. It's fucking one of the more mind-blowing moments I had in a long time when I watched this movie. I had no idea what was happening.
So this came out 2011. Did you watch it with the kids at that time? Or were they too young at that time?
No, yeah, they were too young. So we watched it. We did a whole
So when you eventually watch it, did that just like fucking blow their minds too? They
absolutely.
Were like, what?
Yeah, they were fucking. I was waiting for it. I was like, I can't wait to see this, man. I can't wait to see the reaction. It's almost like one of those. Wait, what? Like, what is happening? Because they actually have a scene. They intercut them looking back like this with a scene from the movie. So it's actually Devon Sawa and Ali Larder and all them are behind them, but obviously they're not, it's just footage from the original film. They're not in the movie. Fucking brilliant. The way they did it is so brilliant. And then, they end up taking off. Engine explodes. They show him fucking burning up in his fucking seat. His girlfriend goes flying out the window, and that's the end of the movie. Now, I brought up part 2 because the 2 from I don't need to go back in my book. I don't know why I'm doing that. The 2 survivors from part 2, like, if correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or something, but I think they're the only 2 survivors through this whole franchise, but they're never ever revisited or brought up again.
Yeah.
Everyone else, every main character, every survivor from a premonition in these movies is dead except for those 2 survivors in part 2.
And they're never referenced in the movies that follow.
They're never referenced again. Those 2. It's always references to Alyx and his friends in Flight 108.
Yeah.
And
so 2, 3, and 4, does that go in chronological order too, or can you not tell?
No, I think it is. It is in chronological order because they bring that up, right? They bring up. So I think the
Gotcha,
second movie is a year after because on the news they mention a year anniversary of the explosion of Flight 108. The third movie they bring them up again. 4 and 5 I can't remember if they bring them up, but I'm pretty sure that's all in chronological order. They do a nice thing in this movie too, where the bus that they get on to go to their retreat is bus 108. It's not something they notice, but we notice it as a fan of the franchise because the flight was 108. And as they're driving to the bridge, they pass a fucking logging rig, and he's just kind of looking out the window at it. You know, is it like fucking little shit like that makes me appreciate what they did with this movie. It was very, very cool, man. I don't think the acting or writing was ever better than part 1 in my eyes. A lot of cliche characters as fill-ins here. Like you've always got the fucking goofy fucking pothead guy, or the gothy fucking moody guy, or the nerd guy. Like, you know what I mean? It's always a fucking handful of people that would never hang around otherwise from being saved from this premonition. And they never believe when the girl fucking figures out or the main character figures out what happens. They never believe it until like the third death. And then they're like, okay, yeah.
Well, you might be onto something. Yeah.
So honestly, man, the wraparound of 5 to 1 is pretty fantastic in my eyes. I fucking absolutely loved it. And, should
it had stayed that way? Where, I mean, look, if Hollywood's in the business of making money, of course. So like, yeah, I mean, if they figured that a new Final Destination movie is gonna make money, they're gonna do it. But did that seem like the perfect end for a franchise?
It really did. But 2 things give me hope for this new movie. One is the trailer we're about to watch is a lot of fucking fun. It's not like any of the trailers that we just played during those. It's just one. You'll see in a minute. And 2 is I have a feeling that you can't fuck this up at this point. You can't have that perfect ending and have the audacity to think you're doing, like, what are you going to do? Start all over? Like, you've got to be able to continue the storyline in a decent way. I'm a sucker like that. Like, I just have faith that they're going to be able to pull this off. I have faith in that. If you're making a Final Destination movie in 2025, you're a fan of the Final Destination movies. You got to know what works. You have 5 films to pick and choose from to what worked and what didn't work. You have probably more money than all the films combined to make this film, right? And you're going to be able to fucking make a perfect Final Destination. This is my hope. It doesn't always work out that way, but that's my thoughts. I have a lot of hope for it. And let's watch a trailer, and you'll kind of see where I'm coming from.
My old man just died. I come in as a favor, and now they want me to lock up.
I just love the vibe already, right? Like, I just
like and subscribe on all the things.
It's darker, it's moodier.
I saw it before it happened, just like the others.
You may think this is a coincidence, but no.
This is Tony Todd's last film. He's coming back.
Yeah, okay. I thought I saw him in there.
You thought you escaped. But death, it's got roots deeper than you can imagine.
Exactly. I was going to say that.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. So basically, it's just a death scene from the film. I kind of like that. That was actually different than the one I saw. The one I saw was actually just that scene. They had a couple snippets in there, but still, overall, it's just the one death scene from the film, which I fucking really, really love. They knew how to approach that trailer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
right.
They know their audience.
All right. So we went through 5 movies and a preview of the 6th film.
Yes,
You've seen one. Alyx.
I've seen one, possibly two now, right? Possibly the second one.
Second one, right? So my question is not if you're going to go back and watch those 5. You don't need to, obviously. I think I did a good enough job. I need to know if you're going to see the new Final Destination movie.
Well, I don't know. After you ripping out all the details for each movie, let me just rank these really quick.
Yes, sir.
And let's lead up to whether or not I'm going to watch this. So Final Destination 1, I give a 6.5. Final Destination 2, I'm going to give a 6, also give a 6.5.
Okay. You like that log truck, don't you?
Yeah, the log truck it's iconic. I thought it was in the first one.
It's a great word for it.
Yeah, you know, something is iconic pop culture wise when like everybody knows it. Everybody just knows the reference. Final Destination 3, I'm giving a 7. That's my favorite one so far.
Nice.
Final Destination 4, I'm giving a 5. It's probably the weakest one out of the 5 I've heard so far, including the little bit of the trailer. And a 6.5 for Final Destination 5. I like the wraparound. That's pretty awesome. I love a good tie-in. If you can tie it in from 4 movies before that, like in a clever way, look, you got me, and it's got me. So the new one, Bloodlines, I like what they're doing with that, where you know the person's related to, is it Devin's character, Devin Sawa's character?
I have no idea.
Oh, we don't know.
No,
because I thought it looked like him at the end of that.
It might have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just really quick to go through some of the other premonition deaths that I had.
Yep.
I thought before I realized that I might have seen Final Destination 2, someone sits on a toilet and Jaws comes out and bites their asshole.
What? That?
So that's a very specific fear if you're under the age of 6.
I have a lot of fears on toilets. I don't know if shark. Maybe after I saw Jaws, maybe that was a fear. You might be right. You might be onto something there. Yeah.
I did watch Jaws recently, so I think it was just fresh in my brain that Jaws is going to show up.
Yeah.
I thought in Final Destination 3 that a character while passing a construction site that has tons of rebar on site, the car hits black ice and just drives off a cliff. That's what I thought was going to happen with that. So it's a little bit of a fake out there. Where you
There's a lot of fake outs.
Yeah, a lot of fake outs.
You really know these movies without seeing them. There's a lot of fake outs in there.
I felt like it did. So that's encouraging. Okay, and so it was those 3.
Wait, can we go back? He hits black ice and what? What does he drive off?
He drives off a cliff. So it's like the rebar was a fake out. You're like, oh, all right. So I'm 3. Yeah, so that was my 3rd Final Destination 3
this is
one.
A cliff. Yep. All right.
Yep. And just like, fuck. But here's the thing, though. I don't think you got it. You think the rebar is going to be?
Well, yeah, I got it.
Okay. I just want to make sure. And then we talked about Final Destination 4, the track meet, and Final Destination 5, the all-you-can-eat buffet, which turns into a robbery and a murder.
Yeah. So I want to mention something about part 3 because it was your favorite without seeing it.
That's right.
I mentioned the premonition death is a little underrated in my eyes. It really is a great fucking set piece. It's like they're at a roller coaster, right? Like I remember watching it. I just watched it today again. And you're like, sometimes you can just like, they'll do like getting on a roller coaster and it just looks like fucking like the walls are like 2 feet away and it just looks fucking fake as shit. This is a fucking roller coaster that they're getting on.
Sure,
like, the entryway is huge, you know what I mean? There's tons of fucking people getting up and leaving and it's just so authentic. It's such an underrated fucking set piece. All the on the roller coaster and all the close-ups of the fucking inner workings of the roller coaster and all that kind of shit. Really, really authentic. I really love that fucking opening scene.
Yeah, it's almost like those little details just sell it even more, right?
Absolutely.
Because that's what you're doing on a roller coaster. You're just looking around, fucking like just like as you're going up the hill.
Yeah. To compare, part 5, when the movie theater explodes and they show all the people sitting in the movie theater, that is a fucking set piece. Like people are fucking 4 feet away in their chairs, you know what I mean?
Yep.
The walls right behind them. Like what is this fucking theater hold 8 people? Like it looks awful.
Yeah.
It looks horrible.
Too much space. So I did really like that trailer. I like the setting of it. I like how it just, like you said, it just focused on the one
Mhm.
death. I love any callback, I was gonna say forced callback, but it kind of plays into Bloodlines, where he's just like, we knew all those deaths before, and it just shows all the fucking different movies and stuff.
But
So yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe this is the movie that references those 2 survivors I'm talking about, right? Like maybe they went back and watched them all and they said, hey, these 2 survived. Let's fucking build off that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So you haven't read any synopsis, you just watched the trailer and you're just
That's
ready
it.
to
I'm ready to fucking rock. I can't
And,
wait.
and what's the release date again?
May 16th.
May 16th. All right, we got a couple of months. Law, I gave the trailer a 7.
Oh, you rated the trailer.
I rated the trailer because I don't know if I'm going to see this. I don't think so. If I shook a magic 8 ball, which I'm really dating myself with that reference, it would say all signs point to no.
God damn it.
I'm not going to take my wife. She hates horror movies. I don't have a horror buddy as far as that goes. And by the time, and I won't go see it by myself.
Yeah.
You know, you want somebody to, like, oh shit, did you see it? Like you want to be in the theater with somebody, just kind of like chopping it up.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that with a random stranger. And I mean, I'm a friendly guy. Like I might make a friend. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe even a new listener.
Oh, okay.
But
you taking applications? Are you taking applications to go to see this movie with?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You can go online or you can just send me an email. So by the time that it eventually gets to my plate, / laptop, I think my interest is just gonna I'm gonna be on some new shit at some point. You know what I mean? Like this is a couple of months away already.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be another month or so by the time it's available on AMG. So, but who knows? I'm gonna say I'm about 60%. I'm not gonna watch it.
All right. I feel like I failed, but okay.
Does it feel like a failure?
I come in thinking I don't want to influence one way or another. Today I was like, I want to make this motherfucker watch this movie.
It may but if it was out tomorrow, I still got the enthusiasm. But we'll see. Right now it's 60%. It could go down to 50%. I mean, we got a nice coin flip action there.
I feel like you're trying to get me to come to Chicago in May. I think that's what this whole conversation's about. Is you want me to come and then drag you to the theater, and you'd be like, "Sorry, Liz, Jim wants to go to the movie theater," and then you have an excuse.
Yeah,
right?
I'm like, well, it's our new video show called "Just Show Me What Happens," in which you come to Chicago and you take me to the theater,
and I just stand like this through the whole movie. Huh?
Just grunting.
Just show me what happened. All right. Well, we got one more thing.
Before we get to that,
sorry,
I want to reiterate to people to go to patreon.com/binge media. We have a lot of exclusive content there. We are currently doing 2 commentaries a month, one on the free Binge Media feed and one exclusively to the patrons, in which they vote on a commentary for that month. So each month, patrons vote on the commentaries.
What's coming up? Do you know any movies that are
coming up? So the March poll is My Cousin Vinny.
Nice.
And 4 other great ones. Tommy Boy.
Oh.
Pete? Techno Pete is not the name of the movie.
Pete's shit.
My Cousin Vinny. I already said that. Fuck. I should have had this.
White Man Can't Jump?
White Men Can't Jump. That's right.
We did that, though. Did we do that, Kyle? Or no, or did we just do a retro on it?
I think we did a retro on it.
Yeah.
A retro review on it. And Money Pit. So we got My Cousin Vinny, White Man Can't Jump, Thank You for Smoking, Money Pit, and Tommy Boy. And right now, Tommy Boy is in the lead.
Thank You for Smoking. I feel that's a rough com. That's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of dialogue.
Money Pit's fucking fantastic.
Money Pit's phenomenal.
Tommy Boy in the lead, eh? Of course it is. He's the greatest.
My Cousin Vinny, you know, we got Oscar-winning performance in that. And right now it's between Money Pit and My Cousin Vinny.
All right.
So if you are interested in movie commentaries, we do 2 every month. We just recorded one yesterday that will be out in March for Memento. That was a nice revisit. Haven't watched that in a while. And that holds up like crazy.
Yeah, we were just watching it the other day. Actually, it was on.
Oh, really? Yeah.
TJ had never seen it, so we were watching it. He liked
what do
it.
you think?
Yeah, he liked it a lot.
That's awesome. Tell him there's a chronological cut too.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Kind of ruins everything though.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's that engaging. It's been a while since I've seen it though. So yeah, patreon.com/binge media if you want to support the show and like and subscribe and share the channel to whoever you think would like it. Right. Now, Law, let's get to some business here. Some business. And Pete, Techno Pete, are you going to be watching
Final Destination
Bloodlines?
No.